This article in the New York Times, Nasrallah, quote, maintained that there should be one Palestine with equality for Muslims, Jews, and Christians, a powerful order. He was beloved among many Shiite Muslims, a historically marginalized group in the Arab world, and created a state within a state in Lebanon that provided social services. Oh, sounds lovely. Equality for Muslims, Jews, and Christians. It's an interesting theory, considering these comments from him.
Israel is a cancerous tumor. It is a cancer, and everybody knows that the nature of a cancer is to spread itself in the body and destroy it. The only solution to heal is to eradicate the cancer.
So forgive me if I don't get all choked up. Joining us now, Congressman Brad Sherman, a Democrat from California, serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. I assume you aren't shedding any tears for his loss?
There are people all over the world who are very happy that Nasrallah is gone, and many of them are in the Middle East, where people are cheering in Iran because they know that Hezbollah is part of this organization along with the Islamic Republic government that oppresses them. People in Syria who Hezbollah's forces have killed by the thousands, and people in Lebanon. So while Hezbollah, Nasrallah has his own followers, just as Hitler did, just as bin Laden did, there are an awful lot of people who are quite happy to see that leader go.
Now, let me ask you a somewhat political question. If the Israelis had heeded President Biden and Vice President Harris's call for a ceasefire earlier, this would not have happened. Were they wrong?
That was Israel's position up until recently. Israel was attacked from the south. They didn't want a battle in the north. They turned to Hezbollah and said, don't fire. We're not going to fire you. You don't fire at us. And after almost a year of Hezbollah making parts of northern Israel uninhabitable, Israel finally responded. And eventually there will be a ceasefire, but hopefully that will be after Hezbollah is severely degraded, pushed north of the Litani River, and forced to give up its most sophisticated and long-range missile.
But that doesn't sound like the position that President Biden is taking even to this day. Let me play. This is what he was asked about and what he said today on this.
Israel may be now launching a limited operation into Lebanon. Are you aware of that? Are you comfortable with their plans?
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now.
Do you disagree with the president on that?
Look, war is terrible. We all want it to end. And a ceasefire that involved Hezbollah moving north of the Litani River, as, believe it or not, the UN resolution, UN, not exactly a pro-Israel organization, requires them to do, a ceasefire where they give up their long-range missiles. I think that's the ultimate objective. Israel doesn't want to be fighting Hezbollah forever. They want their northern areas to be safe, and that could be accomplished rather quickly. It should have been accomplished on October 8th, on October 7th of last year.
Well, I agree with you with regard to Israel's position, but again, the administration was calling for a ceasefire, almost demanding a ceasefire a week ago. If that had been heeded, Nasrallah would still be alive today. They are also not abiding by the president's request for a ceasefire now. And when I listen to what you're saying, it seems you are siding with Israel over the administration with regard to the timing of a ceasefire.
I think you're exaggerating the difference, especially the practical difference between the administration and Israel. Hezbollah has not agreed to a ceasefire. Hezbollah is nowhere close to agreeing to a ceasefire. Hezbollah is going to be striking at Israel all it can for many weeks. And I don't think anyone suggests that there's a ceasefire that's one-sided. So Israel will need to take action. They're taking action now. Northern Israel has to be made safe. Eventually, we would all want peace. And keep in mind, if Hezbollah had come a month ago and said, we want a ceasefire, we're going to stop shooting, Israel certainly would have agreed to that. And Nasrallah would be alive. So his efforts to keep killing Israeli civilians has led to his death.
Yeah, I think we'll have to agree to disagree on whether the Israelis and the administration are saying the same thing.